The Houston versus Atlanta debate is one that's been going on for years. From the food and culture to the music and weather, both cities have made their mark as hotspots for Southern hospitality. Today on the show, I'm making a case for H-Town and facing off with familiar foes. My Houston-born sister, who now lives in Atlanta, and her husband, who is an Atlanta native, in a battle for the best city in the South. It's June 29th, 2023. I'm Raheel Ramzanali, and here's what Houston's talking about. It's a family reunion today because my sister, Maheen, and her husband, Ali, are joining me. Maheen's a school administrator in Atlanta, and Ali's a business owner in ATL as well. Welcome in, y'all. How's everybody doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Hi.
Doing all right. So, Maheen, you grew up in the city of Houston. You now live in Atlanta. So I'm going to give you the first question before we start, throwing jabs at each other in our cities. What is one thing you do like about Atlanta that, people should know about?
I will say that there's always something to do in Atlanta. I feel like Houston, there's always something to do, but it's always so hot.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, now, Ali, how about you? Give me something good about Houston that you like, because you're always here visiting us, so you've gotten to know the city really well. What's one thing you like about the city?
Oh, there's so much good food out there. Good Indian food, good Mexican food. There's so many varieties, culture of, good food out there.
Okay, good. And I'll start by saying that one of my favorite places in all of the USA, the Georgia Aquarium, is in Atlanta, and it is incredible. I did the scuba dive over there with the whale sharks, and it is a must-see aquarium. So I'll give you that point already, okay? It's one of my favorite places. I can't even argue there's something in Houston that compares to it. So you guys win that one, okay?
Great.
All right, so let's get into this. This has been going on for too long. Houston versus Atlanta. It's always trending on Twitter. People are trying to figure out which is the better southern city. So we're going to base it on 5 categories: best food, most enjoyable weather, activities to do around the city, transportation/traffic, and then overall culture. So the first one, I'm going to let y'all start this off. And I think we already won it because, Ali, you just mentioned this, but the food scene, who has a better food scene?
I believe that Atlanta their wings do beat Houston's, Hispanic and Indian food culture. I think the wings are just so flavorful and so hot that it just outright beats Houston overall.
Is that what Atlanta's known for, is the wings?
The wings.
Lemon pepper wings is y'all's staple, right?
We call it lemon pepper hot.
Do you understand how goofy that sounds? That your city is known for wings, and that and one
chicken.
Type of wing, not multiple wings, just one.
It's Lemon Pepper that you gotta call it.
The weird thing about the wing scene there is the best one is at a strip club, though.
Yes.
So you can't even go get it.
I mean, if you really want to get it from there, you can always order through Uber Eats.
So for me, I'm going to make a case. Again, I've already laid it out. Your city is known for one flavor of wings, and that is the cuisine there, right? And stale hot dogs at the Varsity, or
stale?
old burgers, I guess. Yeah, you get that one, chili dogs over there. But in Houston, we're known for multiple types of cuisines, whether it be the barbecue scene, we're one of the best in the nation. Tex-Mex, we're number one. You've got multiple Asian towns around here, so you've got that cuisine and blend. And then, as you mentioned, the Indo-Pak food here is to die for. There are some good places in ATL that are really good for Indian food, but Houston has multiple places. We have the Mahatma Gandhi district. We're constantly regarded as a top 3 or 5 foodie city in the nation. So I think you have to give it up. We win this one. Come on.
I say Houston wins for sure.
I mean, we do have so many wings options. There's over hundreds of flavors of wings that you can have.
We got wings down here too.
Not the way they make them down here.
Oh, come on. And we can get ours at a strip mall, not a strip club.
I will say Atlanta does have the best fried chicken, and I won't give that to Houston because their Hattie B's over here is so good.
Which is a Nashville restaurant.
But it originated, didn't originate in Nashville. Never mind.
No. See? There's nothing original from Atlanta.
No, the fried chicken here is a lot better than Houston. I will say that. But when it comes to Indo-Pak cuisine, I think that Houston takes the win for that.
Okay, good. So we're going to give this one to Houston, but of course, the listeners, you let us know as well. You can always text us in the number in our show notes. And I guess, Maheen, you'll kind of be playing the judge in this one because you've experienced both cities.
Yeah.
So unofficially, food goes to Houston. Let's go to the next one. The most enjoyable weather. And this is where we've debated a lot and we kind of get in trouble with. I will start it off, okay? Yes, it's 100 degrees right now in Houston, and it will be 100 degrees for the next 2 months, it seems like. And it is going to be hot. It's going to be humid. You cannot do anything between the hours of 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. because it is just unbearably hot right now. But it's not like Atlanta has this cool summertime Chicago feel by any means, okay? Having visited in the summer, not only is it hot in your city, Ully, but then you get blasted by this yellow pollen because of all the trees in your area. So I get it. I'm saying Houston's weather's not that great, but make a case for Atlanta, please.
We have beautiful, breathing air from all these trees that we have around us. I believe, all this greenery makes up for this, hot, nasty weather from Houston.
Yeah, it does get hot. Now, I get it. Look, we have a lot of plants and oil plants and all sorts of stuff around the city of Houston. So our air quality might not be the best, but when it comes to pure weather, I think this might be a tie.
No, I mean, look, at nighttime it feels really nice and cool, but daytime, I mean, it's obviously
Okay.
hot, but it feels so nice to go outside at nighttime. And it's not humid. It feels really nice. It feels like a fall weather all summer long.
And I think winter, you guys have a little bit of a colder winter. It does get a lot colder at night for you guys. So you lose on that
I
one.
mean, we get all 4 seasons.
Yeah, we get 2 seasons, hot and cold. That's it.
I think Atlanta, by all means, wins the weather argument. Houston, you go outside and you feel like you have to hop back into a shower because it's so dang humid. In Atlanta, at
Man.
least at nighttime, like the summer nights are pretty cool, and you do get 4 seasons.
Okay. This one's gonna be a tough one for me to win. I tried it. Look, I get it. The weather's hot. It's summer. If we did this in winter, maybe I'd put up a better fight.
Yeah.
But it's just 100 degrees outside right now, so I'll give up that one. Okay, let's go to our next topic. Things to do around the city. Ali, what do you got for me? Make a case for your city.
So we have Pond City Market. We have the aquarium, like you said earlier. We have the world's largest aquarium. We have the Beltline where you can just walk the streets with bars and nice food in the area. There's always like things to do at nighttime. There's clubs, bars, and you have a younger generation now here in Atlanta that likes to go hiking. We have Stone Mountain. There's always a free hike you can always do. So there's a lot to do out here.
Okay, Stone Mountain is cool. That's one of my favorite places. I like going out there. It is a good hike. And it does go uphill, so we don't get that here in the city of Houston. But we have tons of hikes too, okay? We have tons of parks here. And of course, the Memorial Park being the crown jewel of the entire city. There's so much to do there. They've renovated the entire thing. So we've got parks as well. Now, we've got some of the best museums, art galleries, some of the best neighborhoods when it comes to art and culture in general. So I think Houston wins this one, right? Whether it be just going down to the museum district and hopping around to all the museums, going to the parks. So I think Houston wins this one. And I haven't even brought up that our Major League Baseball stadium is in the city and not 45 minutes away. So we've got that going for us.
So we have the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which is in the city. We used to have Turner Field, which was in the city, but now they moved not 45 minutes; they're only about 15 minutes away from the city. We also have a College Football Hall of Fame museum in the city.
You got the Coca-Cola factory.
Yeah, we have the Coca-Cola factory. We have what else? What other museums? We have MLK House in the city. We have a huge park called Piedmont Park, and it's connected to the Beltline. If you walk the whole Beltline, there's many different food halls like Pond City Market, Krog Market, Inman Park. A bunch of parks are all connected on the Beltline. You just walk it. You can ride your bike, ride birds or lift, whatever you want to do. There's a lot of food options on the Beltline too.
Those are good. Music scene, you've got the Miller Outdoor Theater here in the city of Houston. You've got Wortham. You've got tons of concert venues here as well, including NRG that has, of course, the home of the Texans. And you've got other places on that campus as well where you can find some great music options. You've got Toyota Center. So there's always something to do in the city of Houston. I think Houston wins this one. Maheen, you be the unofficial judge. You've lived in both cities. Which city has more stuff to do?
I'm going to say that Atlanta has more to do.
Your vote doesn't count. It doesn't matter.
No, I'm so glad. Lived here for almost 4 years now. I will say Atlanta has so much to do here. I mean, the Beltline, the Ponce City Market, Piedmont Park, I think that's really the heart of Atlanta. And you just get everything on the Beltline. You can walk for, a mile or 2 miles and you just stop along the way. There's restaurants, the Ponce City Market's right there. You could spend the whole entire day there. I've got to give it to Atlanta for this one, as much as I love my Houston.
So see, that's why Houston should win. You guys keep bringing up one thing. That's one thing to do in the city.
No, that's multiple things. The Beltline is huge. You could spend all day there if you wanted. It's amazing.
This episode is brought to you by FX's The Bear. The hit series returns with Jeremy Allen White in the Golden Globe-winning role of Carmy. He and the team will transform their family sandwich shop into a next-level spot, all while being forced to come together in new ways as they confront their past and reckon with who they want to be in the future. FX is The Bear. All episodes now streaming, only on Hulu.
Okay, let's get to our next one, and this is going to be a tough one for me to argue. Transportation/traffic. And I think both cities are built exactly the same, that we're all drivers. We own multiple cars in a household. Everywhere you go, you have to take cars, and there is public transportation, so you can take it. But for the most part, I think everyone drives. So this brings us to the next point. Easier traffic. Okay, Houston's traffic is notorious. I know it's bad. But having been to Atlanta and driving around there as well multiple times, y'all's traffic is no joke either. Okay, it's not like, oh, it's so easy. No, it's pretty bad there.
I agree. I mean, I have no say on traffic. I sit in traffic for at least hours a day, so it's bad. But I haven't really experienced traffic in Houston because I always come on a weekend. So traffic isn't bad on weekends. It's worse on a weekday.
Yeah, for sure. Same thing, like traffic in Houston sucks. Okay, there's no way around it. It can be draining. It's exhausting for people sitting in traffic, especially before or after work. So this one, we will have to go to Maheen and get her vote. Who has the worst traffic?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I think both are the worst. No.
You can say Houston.
No. It's definitely both, because either way, you have to take a highway to get to somewhere in both cities because they're just so big and they're wonderful cities. We have great tollways. We got the Peach Pass here. You got the Easy Tag over there. I mean, you do have some kind of great transport. Go ahead.
Sorry, but can you take a train to the airport in Houston?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yes, you can.
You can take the public transportation.
Not a train, but you could take a bus.
No, you can take a bus.
We have a MARTA station about 10 minutes away from us. We can hop on the train and it takes us directly to the airport. And world's busiest airport too.
That's not something to brag about.
But do you take it? But do you ever take the train to the airport?
Yeah, we have taken it a few times.
Yeah. It's not scary.
And it even takes you to all the arenas and stadiums in downtown Atlanta. So we do have really good transit systems in Georgia.
Okay, for public transportation, I'll give it to Atlanta. But for traffic and you're driving in your car, I say we're just about even because, man, both of them just suck sitting in traffic.
Yeah. And to be fair, because we grew up in the suburbs part of Houston and Sugarland, we never took public transportation, but the public transportation in the city of Houston is incredible. Like, you've got metro buses running everywhere. You've got the trains in downtown connecting all of the major points that need to be connected. So it's pretty great over here as well. It was just we never took it because we always just drove our cars.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to give this one to Atlanta. Y'all have worse traffic. And your cars there's always a yellow film on it because of the pollen, so you guys lose this one.
There's only pollen for like maybe a month. Just take your Zyrtec or your Allegra. You'll be fine.
Okay, last one. This is a big one, and this is kind of open-ended, okay? Just overall culture. Which city has it best here?
We have, the hip-hop culture in Atlanta, which is number one, city to start rap. So I think for culture, I think we have a huge hip hop culture here in Atlanta. All the major artists are actually from Atlanta or have been really successful creating their hits from the culture from Atlanta.
Okay, I'll pause you there. You've got Outkast, all right. You've got Young Thug.
Okay.
You've got
2 Chainz.
Who else?
We have 2 Chainz. We have Migos. We have Future.
Okay.
We have Usher.
So see, we've got Travis Scott, Meg Thee Stallion. We've got this little unknown artist who's probably the most famous person on the planet, Beyonce.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I think we've got music on lock here, but there is a more commercial side of music that Atlanta's really good at and really successful with. We're more independent down here, but we also have some heavy hitters. So I'm not going to let you just get away with just like naming all these musical acts off because, Houston has, again, at the end of the day, you got 3 of the biggest in the world right now.
I mean, we have a few groups, but everyone else is independent, like Lil Baby, Gucci Mane, T.I. What you know about that?
I don't know about that. Okay, so music, I think overall culture, this is a preference, right? Because you're right, like the music scene is great in Atlanta, it's great in Houston. I mentioned all the museums, art galleries that we have here in the city of Houston. You've got all the sports teams represented in both cities, all the major ones. This one's a little bit harder to pick from because everything we just talked about kind of encompasses culture too. So I'm going to give it to the city of Houston because it's a more diverse city and it has so many different people from so many different backgrounds making it what it is. I think the culture here, because you can experience so many different cultures in so many different neighborhoods and restaurants and bars and all that good stuff, that I think Houston might get a slight edge in this one.
I agree. I will say in Houston, you get a lot more diversity. You can go to Chinatown, you can go to, the Gandhi district. Like you literally have your parts of town to go and experience that culture in that town. So that I will have to say for Houston, I think they take the cake for that culture.
I think
That's what I'm talking
she's lying
about.
today.
See, somebody.
What did you say? Sorry.
You're lying today.
Okay.
Well, hey, either way, no matter how y'all, score this at home, both cities are excellent. Houston gets a slight edge here, in my opinion. It is a great city, and it's a city that both of y'all visit a lot, and Atlanta's a city that I like to visit as well. So I think we're all winners in this one, but officially Houston wins, right? Like we can just say it on CityCast Houston that Houston wins.
I mean, H-Town.
H-Town till I drown.
Die hard H-Town girl. You gotta love it.
Maheen, Ali, thank y'all so much for joining us.
Thank you.
That was my youngest sister, Maheen, and her husband, Ali. So how do you think the cities measure up? Send us a text or email with the info in our show notes. Before we go, new HISD Superintendent Mike Miles has started meeting with the community in hopes of answering all questions regarding the TEA takeover and future of HISD. In his first community meeting, Miles announced that of the 28 most struggling schools, 11 will have new principals. These schools will also see the biggest changes in how they operate for the 23-24 school year. I've linked the story in our show notes where you can learn more about future dates for community meetings with Superintendent Miles. That will do it for today. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something new.
Can I give you a side note about the MLK Museum?
Yeah.
Our first date was there.
That's a good first date. It's a very historical part.
It was pretty
of
hilarious.
our country.
Yes, it was a very nice museum visit that we did on our first date.